Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Hope you guys are doing well. We are here once again for another news special, updating you guys on what's going on in the world of Inter. And one thing I always forget, I never ever say this, but I need to remember to say it more. Put your notifications on, guys, if you want to know when I drop the videos. It just notifies you that a new video is out. If you find them annoying, then you find them annoying, then don't do it. But if you do, you should put them on. But anyway, let's get into it today. There's actually some good news, and there's a news we've been waiting for this one for a while, because we knew Inter and Nike were going to renew their deal. 25 years strong, they're going, and it's going to continue. But we didn't know the figures, how long it was going to be for. Our corporate CEO already announced that there was going to be a renewal happening, and today it has been made official. And here you can see the statement on the Inter official website. Nike and Inter, similar to Pirelli, very, very iconic now. As I said, 25-year partnership. And Inter and Nike pleased to announce the extension of the partnership, one of the longest in European football, blah, blah, blah. We know, iconic kits and training kits as well, and, tracksuits, all that kind of stuff. And Antonello, the CEO of the corporate side, talks about the pleasure to announce this extension, historic between Nike and Inter. We've been able to develop together over the years, consolidate our roles, all that kind of good spiel. But I want to go through some of these pictures, some of these iconic pictures. Of course, these are the types of, the one thing with Nike, football and fashion in life, it's all about taste. And some people like the Nike, some people, and I always say Nike. I should say Nike. Sorry, it's Nike. I always make that mistake. I don't know why. I've grown up saying Nike for some reason, and I always say it, but it's Nike. Nike. There we go. Nike and Inter continue their partnership. But one thing that I don't like with Nike is that they don't seem to give us this kind of stuff. Look how nice some of these vintage, apparel is. Like, obviously R9 just makes it, but I would buy something like this in a heartbeat. This kind of stuff, and I always feel like the PSG or the other like marquee Nike teams, they get better treatment, not necessarily better kits. That's not what I'm talking about, but everything around it, like Adidas and Arsenal, like they do so much stuff outside of just the kits, like the clothing outside of it. That's the main thing I have with the Nike and Inter. But yeah, over the years, this is definitely one of the most iconic kits, that centenary kit repped here by Figo and Materazzi. And of course, this is probably my all-time favorite. It's just clean, crisp. The color is nice, simple. Obviously, the Scudetto patch makes, and obviously Milito just looks perfect in it. This is also another. I don't think I like this kit that much, but I think all the patches make it, because this is really, shows Inter at their peak. Obviously, they were on the way down there already, but as a shirt, there's not more you can put on it. Club World Cup, Coppa Italia, Scudetto, Champions League, like it's got everything in one kit. This was a nice one as well, the mashup kit we got a few years ago. I regret not getting this, actually, because I think it is going to be a collector's item, this one. And yeah, Lautaro, this is when he was starting to really show that he's going to be a big player for our team. This one was really nice, third kit from Conte's first season. Those F1 racing vibes, like that. I never liked this one. I never liked the fourth kit from the Scudetto winning season. I never liked this one. I still don't. This one's nice, the snake kit. It looks nice, and of course, again, the Scudetto patch makes it look nicer. And this one I really like from last season, the away kit. I didn't get it, but I think it is definitely one of my favorite kits of the last past decade for sure. But yeah, happy that Inter and Nike continue their partnership. But what we're interested in, of course, is the numbers. And here they are. This is a little graphic I whipped up by myself. IFTV made the graphic with Barella with the potential new kit. It's not been confirmed, but we pretty much know. Footy headlines, most of the leaks show that this is going to be like that, the kit. I'm not too big of a fan of it. I think it's a step down from last year, but not too bad. Nothing shocking. But anyway, this kit is going to be worth around 55 to 60 million. We'll have to wait and see the official figures, which Inter will release when we look at their financial statements. Then we'll know exactly how much these kits, these sponsorships are valued. So today it was announced that Inter, this Nike deal is worth around 30 million euros. Some people are reporting that it's more around the 25 million euros. Then there's some bonuses. But also one thing to take into account, Inter a few years ago actually bought back the merchandising from Nike. So that means Inter make actually a little bit more percentage from their shirt sales. So the numbers might not look that high, but they Inter retain more from their merchandising and their retailing. So it's a good deal overall. The only issue is that it's 8 years long, which means that Inter are tied into this for longer. In a few years, 30 million sounds good right now, but then in a few years, when all the other teams start to renew, then you're starting to struggle. And then 8 years down the line, this might look awful. And you can't really renegotiate these because they have these clauses and things. So, but I guess whilst we are on the Suning, that's the issue. We're such in a volatile financial conditions that securing 30 million a season for 8 years, regardless of whatever happens with Inter, is actually kind of good when you look at it in the risk. In terms of risk factor, it's very safe bet for Inter to just go. But if Inter are trying to grow, not ideal. But overall, the shirt potentially next season is going to be worth around 55, 60, maybe even more. As I said, it depends. We'll have to see exactly the figures when the Inter release their statements. But main sponsor, that's the next stop. We'll have some news on that in the coming days, hopefully. It looks like it's going to be Paramount Plus at the moment. All the rumors, first it was Turkish Airlines and they're talking about Qatar Airways, but apparently those are not in line anymore. And it was, rumored to be around 30 million what Inter were looking for. And it looks like Inter are going to have to settle for a little bit less, which, isn't great. And the Nike deal is great, but this is not so great in terms of figures. AC Milan, they earn around 30 million euros from what we've read in terms of the Fly Emirates kit. But we'll have to see again the exact figures. The reported figures for the Fly Emirates new kit deal for them were 30 million. But the one thing, if it is Paramount Plus, we'll see. One thing, they were the ones that stepped in last minute for our Champions League final kits. We should be getting some good content with Paramount Plus. We've never got the Netflix documentary or an Amazon Prime documentary. I think with Paramount Plus, I've not read any rumors about it, but this is my own thinking that they will make some exclusive. They have to. You're spending 20 million euros to be potentially partner of Inter. You need to be making use of that access. I think we could be getting some really good exclusive content. So that's one upside potentially of that, even though the figures are not that good. Sleeve sponsor, we already got eBay, 5 million per season. Then back sponsor. So, Paramount were actually supposed to be our back sponsor for this season. The package deal that we got with them last season was, they pay us a little bit for the Champions League final. And then, I think it was like a 10 million. And then the rest of it goes to be the back sponsor for this season. But actually, it looks like they've gone onto the negotiation table, become the main sponsors. And now we'll have to go back to the drawing room and find a back sponsor, which again should be bringing us between 5 to 10 million euros per season. So yeah, it could take up the shirt value per season to over 60 million euros, which is great. Nike used to pay us around 12.5 million these last few years. So definitely a big improvement, more than doubling that figure and bringing us in line with other big teams around Europe. Still, obviously, not really cracking in the top 10, but it is what it is. That's the reality of Serie A. We just don't bring those fan base numbers, those sale numbers for these big teams, those viewership numbers. Unfortunately, we're getting with this deal, we get close to Liverpool and Tottenham, but not anywhere near the others. Juventus, the Juventus 51 million deal with Adidas, they timed it perfectly. They timed that renewal as the year they signed CR7, Cristiano. That's when that renewal happened. So, those factors. And of course, at that time, Juve were dominating in Italy, multiple Champions League finals, biggest team in Italy in terms of fan base and abroad for Italian teams. But I'm sure when it comes to their next renewal, if things continue to be same, they won't get anywhere near those figures right there. But yeah, we know we're behind the Premier League teams, but at least we're improving on that. Moving on, as I said, waiting. Let's see what happens on the main sponsor. Let's talk about some transfer news. I'm not going to cover the Onana, Lukaku stuff again. There's no real new news on that. There's just continued rumors back and forth. I like to comment when there's some concrete stuff happening or big movements happening. I want to comment on this guy. Yann Bisseck arrived in Milano. We saw him land at the airport. Here he is, smiling, big smile, dripped out. Big boy, very, very, looks like a very big boy, athletic big boy. We've already seen videos and pictures of him. He said, sono pronto, molto felice, I'm happy, and I'm ready to go. But apparently there's a couple of stumbling blocks, Inter being Inter. He's here to complete his medical, but as the Sempre Inter article has translated here, Inter want to negotiate a lower fee, or according to Sky Sport Italia, not necessarily the fee. They're trying to just play around to see if they can, pay the installments on the 7 million fee in more installments, or just more years rather than in 2 installments. And they're also saying if they can negotiate it down. I doubt they can negotiate it down. I think it will be a case of trying to prolong the payment terms. But yeah, a little bit shady by Inter, but I guess you got to do what you got to do in our financial situation. If Aarhus closed the door to any alternative offers, and the Nerazzurri will simply have to pay the release clause. I'm sure they will be annoyed by this, but the player is ready for his medicals, ready to sign his contract. I hope they don't do anything stupid like just sign the guy at 7 million euros. Surely we can't be in such a bad condition to let a deal like this fall through. And he's definitely one of the players I'm most interested in watching in preseason. I don't think he's ready to be a starter, of course, but I do want to see what he's made of. And preseason is the only time these kind of players get a really good chance, because, a lot of the internationals come a bit later and the coaches have to rotate a lot. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing Bisseck. I think the other guy I'm most looking forward to see is Frattesi. I want to see how Inzaghi is planning to cook with that midfield, because he has a bit of a different profile to our other midfielders, and obviously Marcus Thuram. Excited to watch him. What about you guys? Which players are you most excited to watch? Another player that was confirmed today, it's not made confirmed, but we saw him at Inter HQ, is the goalkeeper we've been talking about, Di Gennaro. Where is he? Let me just bring him up. Here he is, coming in to Inter HQ. This guy was part of the 2012-13 youth team. Like you guys might remember, Alfred Duncan was part of that one. I think Samuele Longo, Bessa, those types of guys. That was a good Primavera team. And he was, remember, Di Gennaro, even though I confused him the other day for Di Gregorio, the Monza keeper, and people were making fun. Snudgers was making fun that he looks like Logan Paul here. He does actually a little bit. But he's going to be the Corda's replacement. At the moment, we've got no goalkeepers. He's going to be the third goalkeeper. But yeah, back in the day, this guy was one of the most touted talents from the Primavera, as most of them, 95% of them, don't really work out. This guy was playing in Serie C, actually, 3rd division. And apparently we're going to get him for free. And yeah, you guys know the third goalkeeper barely ever gets any appearances. So he's just kind of a squad filler, and of course helps with the UEFA squad because he is trained and Primavera product. So yeah, squad is starting to fill out, but still we've got, of course, to sort out the Onana situation, his replacement, and the number 2 situation. So let's see what happens with that. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let's see who is going to be our main sponsor. And yeah, 12th of July is when Inter begin their preseason. So plenty of content coming up, guys. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, put notifications on, as I said. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter, Forza Nike.